All right, so I'm going to do a very quick little lesson on just creating some particles, or not creating them, but using some particles on a boat, setting up a scene with a boat. First off, the thing I'm going to say is that in this case, the boat's not going to move. We're going to use the water to make it look like the boat's moving. This will make our life a little bit easier. So I'm going to select some water. Gentle wave, river flow, simmering water perhaps. Let's go with deep flow. And we'll take a look at it. With the lights, you can tell that the water is moving towards me. Okay, and now I'm going to grab a sky. Some of the default skies that we have here. Let's see. Sky 03. Looks nice and stormy, right? And I'm going to grab my boat. I'm going to find some boat that I have, probably downloaded a long time ago. Boat. I'm going to search. Oops. Boat. Sorry about that. Let it search for a minute. I realized that I have downloaded Bigstreck's Medium Splash before, so we're going to use that one. Sorry, here's a boat. Just gonna plop it into my scene. Should come in at 0, 0. There you see it there. And now let's see which direction. Okay, so you see the water is moving to the left. I'm simply going to move the boat, rotate it around so it's going against the water. Okay, looks good. Something like that. We're going to lower it so it's below the water. Like that. Okay, so now if I just move the camera around, it should give the essence of moving a bit. And we can play with the lighting as well to make the water more effective. But that's not what we're here for. We're here to talk about these particles. Now, the one that I found that I liked using in my the video that I posted, which one was it? We go to Legacy. I believe, let's look in our base stuff here. Rain, ripple, wave. It was wave. So I'm just going to grab it. I'm going to pull it to the back of the boat. I'm going to pull it up so that I see it. Sorry, you're not going to see it because it's a dummy, so make it visible. All right. And here you can see it. Okay. Now if I play, it's going the wrong direction. So I'm simply going to rotate that dummy around. About there. There we go. Oh, now, mistake that I made. I'm going to remove the object animation. Okay. And let's take a look at it now. And see, that can act as our, it's not quite right, but you can act as our wake, as our trails on the water as the boat progresses. Now, it looks like it's actually backwards, right? So perhaps what I want to do, I'm going to pull it out, flip it around, back to how it was, about like that. And once it gets loaded, is that more effective? No, I don't think it is. So we're just going to undo that. Okay, I'm just going to straighten it out. And again, this is just a super fast example. You can play with the particles a lot more. The one that I used in the video was actually the waterfall. I'll show you how I did that real quick, and then we'll look at Bigstreck's. Particle. Was it flow, waterfall? I think it was just waterfall. Okay, drop it in, take a look at it. So I just wanted the water to be coming off of the bow. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to take a look at the actual, okay, so it has two things. You can see the water's coming off of this green bar here, and it ends up going to where our dummy prop is. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to lower this down to the water, right? Like that. That's actually, nope. Now see it raising? That's a problem because I added it at a later part in the timeline. So in order to get rid of that, I'll just right click, remove object animation, and now it should stay in place. Okay, so now we just move that to the bow of the boat. I think that's what it's called. It's possible it's something else. There we go, about like that. Okay. And in this case, now you've got some splash coming off of the boat as it moves. So I'm going to pull it back over just a little bit. Now these are all done with particles that you should have as defaults in Iclone, right? So I haven't purchased anything here. These are things that are generally free. And now you could do some work with the camera. Let's say we start it back here, and then I move forward, and I'll move the camera up to heat. Well, I like that actually, about right there. Something like that. Maybe even a little more. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Oh, it didn't work because I didn't create a camera. The default camera won't accept. Go to the end. Pull it back. Won't accept those values. Create the camera. Here it is down here. Move to someplace on the timeline that you want to be at and zoom in. Now we'll take it back and take a look. Nope. What's going on? Alright, so it's just slow. I moved it too far back. I'm going to go back into the camera, remove the animation. We'll go to about 7 seconds. To about right here. Let's see how that looks. There we go. And it gives the appearance that the boat is actually moving along. Now, you mentioned that you had purchased Bigstreck's splash emitter. I don't remember where exactly it is, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go into my customs, because that's where most of the stuff is, and I believe it's called Splash. And let's see what we get in our search results. Like I said, I'm pretty sure I have the medium splash, which they all work the same. He uses perform functions on them, and so what you'll do is you'll just right click on the dummy prop itself. I got nothing. Nothing came up there. Splash. Let me try in the main template. Let's see if it's located there. Give it a second. Come on. You can do it. Come on. Da, 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 da. Sorry for the wait. There we go. Medium splash. And if we want to see exactly where it is, I right click on it, find the file, pops up, it's sitting in Iclone template props, so in the main folder. Okay, so we have it here. I'm going to drag it in to about the bow of the boat here. I'm going to turn off the waterfall for now. You can't actually just turn it off. What you got to do is you got to go into the emitter. So I click on the thing, I go over here, and I think will activate work. I think it will. Yeah, okay, so we've turned it off now. Good. And we want to focus on Bigstreck's medium splash. So I've highlighted it. I come over to it approximately. We're going to put this back on the preview. I'm going to, it's visible. I'm going to pull it up so I can see it. Okay, so it's a dummy. So even though the visibility is on, it's a dummy. You can tell by the red and see it said as dummy. Okay, so there it is. Like I said, Bigstreck usually uses perform functions for his more complex particles. I right click on it, I go down to perform, and here's your splash. Oh, and there it is, right? For some reason it stops halfway through the splash, but if you cycle through the timeline, it's actually there. And it's made up of multiple particles: a splash, a ripple, splash 2, spray 1, splash 3, ring 1. It's possible there's some of them that you won't want. I thought about maybe we could get rid of the ripples if you like. To do that, I'm just going to go in, I'm going to deactivate it, and possibly ring 1. I'm going to deactivate that one. Let's see what that looks like. Splash, And now we get it without those ripples. And perhaps you want them, I don't know. That's up to you. So we go back, I'm gonna drop it down to about the water level. Did that work? Perhaps not. Right click. Let's see if we remove object animations. Does that get rid of it? It doesn't. I forget how, I'd have to go into the timeline. That's not ring 1. I want to be on medium splash dummy. Let's see what we got in here. Doesn't look like it's put anything in. I'm gonna have to go to each separate one. You know what? I'm gonna do this easy way. I'm gonna delete the one that I have in here because I forget how to actually remove the individual ones. I'm going to raise it up so that I see it. Okay, you can see the little red hash right there. And in my timeline, I'll hit perform splash. I'm going to undo. Okay, move to a certain point here, 7 seconds. I'm going to go back into it. I'm going to do perform again. Oh, that's very interesting. That one didn't come out. Okay. Perform splash. See it there? It's very low and it's right centered. Okay, pull it over. Let's see if that helps. Yeah, there we go. Splash right there. And when I added that other one, it was in a different one. So, okay, perform, splash. There's one. And then it should do it again there. And we'll do a third one here. Perform, splash. That's pretty good. Now, if I pull back, I know that, and put it on my camera. Let's see what that looks like. Splash comes up and down. You see it there, and there should be a second one. Yeah, we missed it because the camera is a little too fast. Let me find the camera real quick. We'll move that back. We'll move it a little there. Okay, now let's see. One thing I really dislike about expand the summary tracks. I don't like that this particular curve, transition curve, is always set on. Sometimes you just want things to be linear. They move better that way in certain cases. So here we go. All right, there's one splash. You see the wake in the background. There should be a second splash coming up. There it is. And maybe you want to move it more to the bow of the boat. And I think there's a third splash too, right? There it is right there. And there you go. That's using some of the particles. One other thing that you might do, we might add some rain. I think you had mentioned that it was a stormy night that you were working on. Legacy props should have some rain in there. Let's find what we have. Rain, we could try this one. I think there's a couple of them. I'm just gonna double click it. It should come in at 0, 0. It's not quite big enough. Let's see if we can come over to the particle itself. And what? Life, angular velocity, width, size. So let's make this 1,000. Width and height. I think this is right. I might be totally wrong. Yeah, I'm totally wrong. Sorry about that. Escape, put this back to, I think it was 100. And then in our mid volume, that's where you want to be working with this. I'm going to put it to 7,000, not 70,000, and 7,000, and we will see if that will cover our full scene. There you go. So now we've added some rain, you've got some splashing, and you've got some wake going on. That's using 3 particles to animate your boat. You're using the water to simulate the motion of the boat, and you're using the camera to aid that as well. Okay, so I hope that was a little bit helpful for you. If you have any other questions, just put it back in the thread. Okay, groovy, bye.